Oh, hi. Welcome. Are you here to sit for me? Fantastic, thank you. If you just take a seat right here, that'd be fine. I'm going to be doing some charcoal sketching today, which I'm really looking forward to. It's been a long time since I've done any sketching, and I think I'm out of practice, especially life drawing. So I really appreciate you letting me draw you today. So if you would like to get yourself into a nice comfy position, because obviously you're going to be in it for a little while, so make sure that you're feeling happy and comfortable. Yeah? Great. Could I possibly just move your left arm a little bit this way? Yeah, just like that. Perfect. So here I've got my mixed media artboard. Essentially, this is just like really thick, like board, I guess, cardboard, that you can use anything on. So this is really good for paint and watercolour because it's thick enough that the moisture won't make it like buckle like regular paper would. But it's also perfect for using on an easel like this, since it's solid and it won't bend. I remember when I was in school, we used to use just regular paper and we tape it to these huge boards that you put on the easel. This is much easier. Right, so I think I'd like to have you looking my way. So I'll draw you looking straight on. So if you keep your eyes focused on me, that'd be great. And let's get started. I'm going to use, just for making the sort of preliminary sketch, to sort of sketch out your proportions roughly and make sure I get the composition on the page right before I start the details. I'm going to use this overflowing box. Can you guess what this is? So this is willow charcoal. Do you think I've got enough? I really like the sound that willow charcoal makes. It's almost like glass. Right, so in here I've got a whole lot. I've got some really skinny ones, like that, and some thick ones, like this one. Seeing ones like this really makes me remember that this is just like burnt wood. Actually, there are some in here, you can see, that still have like little branch bits on them. Which is strange. But today I think I'm going to use just a really thin one. I haven't even started drawing. Already getting messy. That is the nature of charcoal, I guess. Alright, so keep your eyes on me. I'm just going to start sketching out your rough proportions. I'm going to start with your head. The really nice thing about willow charcoal, and most charcoal actually I guess, is that, but especially this one, is that you can just put down lines, and then if you want to just blur them out, or if you've made a mistake, you can just give them a little rub. The lines are totally gone. No evidence of there being a mark. With willow charcoal at least. So you can get perfect shading. Another thing that makes it great is that you can rub it out with a rubber. So that makes it really easy to make really nice highlights. If you make a sort of dark base and then rub out where you want the highlights to be. Okay. Sorry, I'm measuring. I very distinctly remember my high school art teacher saying that you should be looking at the person far more than you're looking at your paper. Which, you know, is hard to actually do, since I feel like I always have to look at my paper to be drawing on it. Because I think if I'm looking at you and then trying to draw, it always goes a bit skew. But I think the theory there is that if you're looking at your drawing more than you're looking at the model, then what you're doing is looking at the model and going, that's an arm, I'm going to draw an arm. And then when it comes to drawing it, you just use your idea of what you think an arm should look like and draw that so it can be out of proportion, instead of actually looking and seeing exactly how the lines are and how the shapes lay on the person, drawing that. I guess it's the sort of use your eyes, not your memory sort of thing. Ooh. Okay. So, onto your clothes. One thing I actually really like is drawing fabric, like all the sort of wrinkles in it and the pleats and things. I think it's really fun to be able to make that look like realistic. I always find it incredible though when you go to an art gallery and you see these super old paintings where someone's painted like a monarch or someone of nobility. They're wearing all these like silk or satin gowns, like really shiny, like soft fabrics. They just paint it. It looks so real. I don't know how people do it like that. Well, I do. They took years to paint them, but It's not incredible. If you're hearing all the, it's because I'm trying not to use too much like outline, but rather sort of block in the shapes, and then I'll add detail afterwards, like refine it. Because I think I rely too much on just sort of drawing an outline, but it just never looks realistic if you do that. Normally I would do the outline and sort of like fill it in, and sometimes it works, but you know, if you're left with that hard edge, it never quite looks right. That's actually what's really useful. If you can use wooled charcoal and you rub it on its side, any charcoal actually, like do it like this instead of like that, it gives you this, you know, great big smudge rather than a line that you can blend out really easily. Okay, so got your arms and your shoulders and your head. Just doing some of your body now. Okay. If I'm not blending this sound, it's me having made a mistake. Now, I can move on to your legs. Leg down. Right. I think that is my base sketch done. And now I can move on. So let's put this back. Oh, you know what? I want to keep it here, just in case I need it. And, God, it's never good. I've got a sort of a wet cloth on hand for this, because otherwise I end up touching my face, and then it's just, I've probably already done it, but all over. Right, moving on. Let's see. I think next up I'm going to use this. This is a lovely little charcoal drawing set, which includes willow charcoal, like I just used, except these are all quite long and thin. And then it has charcoal pencils. So these are the kind that you can, sharpen like a regular pencil and draw with more easily without getting your hands dirty. Here is one of the charcoal pencils that I have inadvertently snapped into 3 pieces. This is one of those ones, it's not like the wooden ones that I just showed you. This one's charcoal through and through, but it has a sort of shiny outside so it doesn't get dirty. I really don't know how I did it, but evidently I've got too strong a grip. But all is well, because also in here is compressed charcoal. So that's these. You can see this one says soft on it. This one is hard. Is a medium. And another medium. So compressed charcoal, that's what I'm going to use next. I'm going to use medium. It's nowhere near as light as that willow charcoal. It's sort of compressed. So it's a thicker, sturdier little tool. And with this, your lines don't rub away as easily. So you can make darker and bolder marks with this, but they don't blend out as much as willow charcoal does. Like, it won't be completely gone if you blend it. Also, it's harder to rub out. So this is good for step 2, once I've got my stuff down, just to add detail. I'm going to start, I think, with your clothes, because they're sort of in the middle. And also, like, blending these out makes a much darker smudge than the willow charcoal. coming along. Right, I'm going to move on to your head. Now that I've got I like to start with the middle bit, so then you can work outwards. You don't, run out of space anywhere. You start with the head, and then realise that you've done it too small or too big or something, but you've already sketched out the body and it doesn't fit together anymore. It's stressful. Made a mistake. It's a lot harder to repel, but if you try, you can drown it out with more black. Okay, let's do your face. So I'm just sort of gotta work out the shape of your eyes, and then the nose. Okay, let's repeat that on here. Lovely jaw. You're lucky to look like that. Oh, I always try and do what she said. Look at you and not the paper, but it never looks right if you're not looking. Nothing I can't correct. I think that's the beauty with charcoal. It's alright to have it be a little bit messy, because it sort of adds to the effect. Smudgy look. Okay, working a bit now on your legs. Are you still comfortable like that, by the way? Yeah? Great. Don't want you feeling too tired. This is coming together now. I think just a tiny bit more, and then I can move on to my next step. Alright, I think that's that bit done. That was quite a short step. Because I did most of the hard work with the initial sketching. Once you got the proportions down, it's easy to shade it in. So next, I get to move on to these. These are more compressed charcoal, however, in a range of colours. Well, grayscale. You can see also how many of these I've broken. I'm going to go in, because so far it's all just black, with some light grey. So I'm going to I'll use one of the broken ones. I'm going to use this one. So this actually colours over the black quite well. So I'm just going to have to add some depth with this and a slightly lighter grey. And this, again, one of the praises of charcoal. They blend together very nicely, so I can put this over the dark and blend it out, and it looks quite seamless. So I'm essentially just using this to colour in the light areas. So I'm going to use this just for the highlights on your face. So you've got sort of here on your face, the sort of lighter bits, the tip of your nose, your forehead, your cheeks, a little bit of the chin. I'm just going to do that now. So, get a good look at you. I always make the mistake of leaning on the paper with my hand so that I can get a finer line, like more steady hand. When I'm doing details, I lean automatically, which is not a good idea with this. Okay, so I think that's your face, good. And now, on the clothes, you could do the lighter lines, like where the wrinkles are on the outermost bits. Makes them look a bit more like they're popping out. Good. Now, legs. I've got that cold for a second. There's light bits on like your knees and the parts of your pants where it's bulged a little bit. So I'll just get those in. Whew. That really brings something to it. Pops out a little bit. Okay. I'm going to use actually also the one shade darker, just to sort of help act as a middleman between those two colours. So just in some spaces where it's light, but it's not, you know, bursting with light. Just gonna add this. Pretty good, if I say so myself. Let's put this back in. Oops. Okay, so it is time for my cloth. I don't want to be getting grey everywhere for the rest of the day. Every time I touch my face, it's good enough. So yeah, for the final step, I'm going to use my rubber. Looks childish, but I kid you not, this is the best rubber I've ever used. Also good actually for charcoal is if you have a putty rubber, they're great, but I lost mine. So rainbow rubber it is. I just want to use this in the absolute lightest areas on your face and like some on your clothes where I want a real highlight to be. So I can rub out the charcoal and have it be like almost white. And you know what, even if you don't press very hard, you can just make it lighter grey, which also looks good for if you just want subtle highlighting. So if you press harder, it's just white again. There we go. I'm going along sort of the ridges on your clothes. Ridges, folds, wrinkle, I don't know. You know what I mean. I want to do a little bit of your face as well, actually. You've got a bit of shine on your nose. And a little bit sort of here on the bridge of your nose, I guess. And a tiny bit sort of along your cheeks. Okay. Sort of blend that through again so it's not too like much of a line. Oh, you know what, this is also nice for making a nice clean edge around. If you've smudged it out by accident or something, let's just do that now. This is really nice because you can use the flat end, just go whoosh, and makes a big neat line. Okay, so just cleaning up now. Ooh. Right. I think that's done. Well, I am super happy with that. It's been really nice to get some practice in after all this time. So, really, thank you so much for sitting for me. I know it's a bit of a boring task for you probably, but it's been great fun for me. I'm definitely going to need some more practice in the long term, so please come back if you feel like doing this for me again. I really enjoyed myself, and I hope you did too. Thanks so much for sitting for me. See you next time.